Hello, my name is Father Mark Russler. I'm the pastor of St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Parish in Hiawatha.
And I'm St.
She's St. Elizabeth.
I'm Trish Lockver. Hey, the topic today is Engaging God Talk. I was just getting ahead of myself, thinking I'm a saint. I'm Trish Lockmer, Director of Faith Formation here at St. Elizabeth's.
And we've been following this book here, Everyday Witness, during our message series during the Easter season. And this is the 7th chapter in the 7th week of the, in fact, it's the Feast of the Ascension of the Lord today.
Oh, this is where Jesus leaves.
Engage in God Talk. And the author, I think, she does a good job as usual, but she sometimes, I don't know, when we think God Talk, maybe we just think we have to use the name God all the time, or Jesus. We're not using the name God or Jesus, that is not God Talk.
Right.
But she kind of expands and says, no, God Talk can include words like love or gratitude or kindness. So they can be words or they can be feelings at the same time. And so it's that kind of language that we're using. Maybe it'd be better to talk about God language or something like that rather than God talk. So it doesn't have to be using God every other word or Jesus all the time, but rather this kind of words or feelings that we have because of our relationship with God.
Yeah, and the book cites that there are several reasons why Americans shy away from discussions of God or faith. Can you guess any of those reasons? Well, only 13% regularly attend church had a spiritual conversation in the last week. And according to the survey, there are conflicts. Some say these types of conversations create tension or arguments. Others feel put off by how religion has been politicized. Still others report not wanting to appear religious or sound weird or seem extreme. Whatever the reason, for most of us in this majority Christian nation, our conversations almost never address the spirituality we claim is important. Now, I have to be honest, at my work, it should be relatively easy to have God talk. So I can't entirely relate to people like that are in the work world that have, that it's hard for them to share their faith or talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think another thing I'd add to those points that you made is that we can't engage in God talk unless we have something to talk about.
Right.
And so that presupposes the first two characteristics of a disciple,
right?
Prayer and learning. Unless we're engaged in individual God talk, even in the community at Mass as well, but also as we're learning about our faith, then we feel more comfortable talking about it at the same time. So I think we're going to do this kind of witnessing in terms of God talk, prayer, and learning precede it.
Yeah. Well, and it says, do talk about what your faith means to you. Do say what you are grateful for. You mentioned that earlier, Father. Do share about the power of prayer. Do offer prayers for people in need. And then it goes on to give you some more do's, but here's a couple of don'ts. Don't tell people what they should do and believe. Don't speak in a pious, superior tone. I know, I need to work on that. When talking about things of God, don't start with doctrine unless someone initiates it. Like, I'm just going to tell you what the whole Catholic Church teaches on blah, blah, blah. Invite them into the conversation, and then that will lead to the theological talk. Mm-hmm. I think that's why I like your homilies so much, Father Mark, because you are a theologian who could go very, very deep, but you stay at a level that you give us some theology, but you make it relevant. So way to go.
I just think of you all the time, Trish. So.
What, the average person who doesn't know anything? Thanks.
Actually, the gospel for this Sunday, St. Matthew's, it's sometimes called the Great Commission, where Jesus is leaving them. It's the ascension, He's going to sit at the right hand of the Father, but he commissions the disciples to go forth. And guess what? They're supposed to engage in God talk. And so it's a great Sunday to end this message series that, this is what it's all about, that he wasn't just speaking to be 11 at that
Yeah.
point, but you and me as well. I mean, hopefully we've been trying to do this during this message series, do a little bit of God talk.
I can't help but notice, that you're retiring, which is rude. So by the time you're watching this, I mean, he's like a month before he's on an ocean somewhere drinking a pina colada. But until then, I really appreciate all that you've done for us here at St. Elizabeth's, how you've helped bring us closer to Jesus through your God talk, through your witness. All these 4 aspects you've done for me on behalf of, I can't speak for everyone here at St. Elizabeth's, but I appreciate what you've done
Well, thank you.
in terms of witnessing to faith. And so will you join us on this last week and into the season of a new pastor to witness to the saving power of God in your life and engage in just a little bit of God talk this week. Have a great week.
Thank you.